to the glorious Smite League lower division. Tonight we have a league match between Just Built Different, the current top team, against Euphemism, who are a bit further down the ranks, a newer team into the division. We are joined tonight by myself, Ginger Archer, as the main caster. My co-cast tonight is Ket Monster, Matt, who got diffed by Ghost Rider 62, and doing the spectating for us tonight is Printers. How are we all today? How are you, Matt?
I am lovely, thank you. Still recovering after that little diff I received by Ghost Rider. His Mercury is the meanest thing in EU, but I'm honestly just really looking forward to this set tonight. I think Just Built Different have shown they're a top team throughout all of this season, honestly. They've played consistently really well. I think Euphemism have some promising areas in their team. Their jungler as well, Lupo, he does seem to have, especially on the auto attack character or the AA cancel characters. Apologies. He does seem to have the mechanics locked down. Like he's a pretty, he's an interesting player to watch for sure.
Hey, well, I haven't seen any of their games yet. I've scrimmed against Euphemism, but Lupo wasn't playing in that game. Instead, the solo lane on the side of Just Built Different was playing in the jungle. I'm hoping they've improved since then. They seemed like individually they were okay, but their team fight was still quite weak. I think they need to work on that a bit. So I'm hoping it's been a couple of weeks since then that their cohesion has come together a bit. And I'm also not surprised to see an Uller ban, because when we scrimmed them, yeah, I put Cookie at a 5-level deficit.
Yeah, definitely seems like a pick he's not comfortable playing into. Flora at the minute, I mean, you need the mechanics on Ulla. Obviously can put in huge work with the AA cancels for Hydra's procs with the current Bluestone sort of Hydra's build. Scary ADC, and we see Baba Yaga locked in here first for Just Built Different. It's a Nathan classic. What are your opinions here, Billy?
Yeah, no surprise at all. He's very solid on the Baba Yaga. Nathan's very good at piloting that in the middle lane. I've not seen him play a bad game with it yet, and I think Euphemism have just failed to sort of identify that that's something that Nathan plays and plays very well. I understand banning out, say, the Nemesis, but we've not really seen Megatron play much of it. Same with Euler, I've not seen Cobain or Nathan play a huge amount, so I get that they don't want to play against these gods, but they've let through a real pocket pick and a strong pocket pick for Just Built Different.
Yeah, for sure. And in response here, we see a Merlin and an early Darji here. Seems like it'll just be a comfort pick here for Lupo. I don't really understand it this early and into Baba Yaga. I think Darji, one of the few ability characters, what is still just very, very strong right now. But I don't know. I just don't think it's the comp for it personally yet. Merlin, just consistent damage mid laner. Be interested to see how it plays into Baba Yaga. Probably not the worst matchup. And in response, we see a Jingwei and Baron. Yikes. Get these three gods getting through.
I mean,
It's a rough one, Billy.
you say that Jingwei is not that strong in competitive play at the moment. In our league, her win rate is atrocious. She's not been that good. She's not impactful. People use it to farm up late game, but the problem is that when people have done that, they've lost a lot of dual lane pressure, and I've seen people like just lose gold furies because they're just, they're not really there for the fight. And on the other side, the Chernobog comes in, which I actually think is stronger than Jingwei at the moment. That ability to just rotate and deal so much damage with the damage reduction being really safe, it's a really impactful play. I much prefer the Chernobog, but I do agree on Baron and Baba being real nuisances, and I don't like the Merlin into them. Too easily picked off. That Flicker does not have much range.
Yeah, for sure. He's gonna have a rough time escaping the Baron Samedi Life of the Party, I believe it's called.
It is indeed.
I assume it will be Taromatized piloting the Baron. Haven't seen Dozy play too much Baron support. Tier on Baron it's scary. One of the picks I will not want tier on is this Baron Samedi. Is looks so good. It's he's on Baron Samedi. It'd be interesting to see where they really focus. Baron Samedi, if Chernobog rotates, if Chernobog's able to get those roots off on Baron, it could be rough for tier. I kind of see them, with their comp so far, I kind of actually see them trying to camp like solo side. I think I can kind of see that with the Darji and Chernobog. I think Darji doesn't have the worst matchup into Baron, can just immune
The
the
only
root. and just
Only
get on
thing
him.
on that is, look at the bans from Just Built Different. Is that Baron actually going to end up in solo lane, or is this going to be a support? Because we saw Dorsey the other day, really strong on the Jingqian, but it's been banned out. There's so many bans on the, on the supports here. I'm wondering if this Baron is actually going to be in the support, and we're going to see something more aggressive in the solo lane.
Yeah, that could be really interesting. I think Tyr could pick a god here. I mean, Baron is already pretty good into Merlin, but if Tyr picks like King Arthur, for example, what can just stick on this Merlin, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be really rough. I think looking at the bans as well on the side of Euphemism, I just feel like the Ganesh ban, sure, but Yamoja, Dorsey notoriously not a Yamoja player. I don't think he's opted for it once so far this year. I think it's just really a lack of knowledge here and probably a wasted ban as we see the Bracken picked up.
An interesting pick for sure. Dorsey, I mean, I agree with the emoji ban. Like, Dorsey tends to be more in your face with his picks, even with, like, the Kepri. He's there, he's engaging, he's being annoying. Yamoja, not really in that sort of play style. The Cabrakan, though, a bit of a flex pick, potential solo, potential support play. Be interesting to see which one this goes for. I'm not actually sure which way this will go. I mean, surely they're going to hold it and just see where the solo gets picked into the solo lane here for Just Build Different or the support, as Circuit being Hoverberg is flicked with Fenrir, which I like. I like Fenrir against Merlin.
Yeah, Mystic really looking for these high CC junglers what can just punish the Merlin, punish the
Yeah.
Cabrakan.
Not even that, it can chase him down as well. Like Merlin's flicker, you can so easily follow it with Fenrir. You get the stun, he flickers, you just follow with the free. It's a really, really nice matchup for Fenrir. And the other thing they're hovering on now, the Ares, so definitely the Baron solo, Dorsey going to get in the face, and this is really looking at sort of burning the beads between those three frontline, more frontline gods with the Ares, the Baron, and the Fenrir. Looking to just be a pain and force out the relics. The Merlin, no real safety against it, nor does the Cabrakan. If the Chernobog's rotated, he has to get in the wall. But they actually go for the Circuitins in the end, which I'm not sure about. I think the Fenrir's better in this situation.
I honestly, I do also prefer that it's a Cabrakan solo. Wow.
It is a
I'll,
Cabrakan solo.
I'll know Mad does like these Guardians in solo. The infamous split pushing Ymir when he subbed for experienced harpies. God bless their soul. He does like these magical solo picks, and Kumbhakana, that is just going to be hard for Mystic to really do anything in their backline. You know, Saket's abilities typically channeled. Granted, the root's probably not gonna really take that much effect, but I think channeled ability where you can just mez out.
Yeah, problem is if he mezzes that, that gives Ares free reign. Now this is really going to be a case of the Kumbhakana looking at and identifying who's more of an impact and nullifying that god. If the Ares is doing more, you need to focus the cooldowns on them. Circuit, if she falls behind, she's kind of just there for setup. She'll go in, fling someone and die. So if that's the case and she does get behind, Kumba really needs to just be looking at the Ares, nullifying his damage, because that's where it's really going to be able to follow up.
Yeah, for sure. Kumba, pretty decent matchup into Ares. Can't really dash away, but has that CC immune ultimate, has the root to prevent the chase. I like this Kumbhakana pick, honestly. I think it makes their laning phase a tiny bit safer from when Ares hits that level 3 spike and the shackles are just dealing so much damage. Really allows Chernobog just to try and survive. Jingwei not the most pressure to go along with it, but be interesting.
Yeah, I mean the Ares clear is there for that, right? Like the flames are doing the percentage health damage. That early clear on the minions is really rather disgusting. Kind of matches the Chernobog, and actually I quite like the Jingwei against the Kumba as well. I say you're in a tough spot. Kumba's ult, it's someone you almost can intentionally get hit by the knockdown because it's going to give you a longer reach dash. It's really about identifying how much damage can you take before that, but I don't know. I like both of these drafts. I think aside from the Merlin, I prefer Euphemism's draft. I think Merlin at the moment is kind of just a bit of a throw god. I don't think I just don't think he offers as much in a team fight. He does, yes, his consistent damage, but Baba Yaga's just burned everyone out by then. You can't get your second, rotation of abilities. Um, and I think had they drafted better in mid lane, something like an E set to just have that stall on the protection, I think would have been really good for this comp.
Yeah, for sure. Not particularly the most keen of the center Babi matchup. Can really just keep applying the home sweet home, the ultimate. Isak can't really escape it. But I think it's still pretty decent. Just helps that team fight, helps the survivability of the backline. It's you know, right. That's not the ability name. Cannot remember the ability name, but Isak ultimate.
Circle of
Um,
protection.
Circle of Protection, that's the one, thank you. Um, it's so good for keeping your backline alive.
Yeah.
Haven't really seen much ESET play in the league, honestly,
No,
which
I
is
think she
surprising.
can. She's obviously quite, as you say, quite easily chased down. I know she's been picked a couple of times in another league in mid with some decent success. Just because I've got my friend who's been piloting it on the NA side, but yeah, just kind of out of favor at the moment for some of these gods to do more guaranteed damage in the late game and have this more mobility so they can stay safe. Which she doesn't have as much. She's relying on that silence and the ultimate to keep herself alive.
Yeah, for sure. And just the ability to position well as well. I think a match up into some of the auto attack is rough. But I think the
Hmm.
same could be said for Merlin. Bakasora Arachne can kind of just run Merlin down.
Easily.
Kali can just stick on the Merlin. Like
Yeah, Nemesis
he's
can easily chase down. There's the same reason the Merlin's less safe, but in fact even less safe than the E set is, and I think almost offers less in the team fight just because that ult can be so impactful with the healing it provides and the protections. Mystic Megatron having to get a taunt off here to prevent himself from dying. Freak out, putting on a bit of pressure. Megatron's a bit low. Nothing too worrying for him right now. Dorsey hitting the chains in the duo lane, but level 2, they're not doing much damage.
Yeah, for sure. Ares just needs to get level 3 if he's going for these big Jackal bursts that he's going for. Have we got any interesting builds actually? Bracken actually going for Conduit Gem. What do you think about that? Billy?
I think this man's looking for late game damage. We can assume that the tier 1 there is going to go into a Warlock Sash alongside the Baron. Um, would I prefer the tankier build with the Bumbus Hammer? Maybe. I don't think Bracken benefits too hard from the Conduit at this stage until the late game. Almost would be better to just rush a Warlocks or just go Sands of Time. I'm not against the Conduit, but I think there are much better pickups. But I get it. Like right now, you can use it to clear with the current patch. They've actually updated it so it does more damage to minions. So not against it. Not against it at all. Though seeing it on the Merlin as well is interesting. I guess going for that late game gem of focus rather than the Archmage's gem. But you'd think just valuing the cooldown would be better. I'm wondering if we're going to see a Chronos pendant rush as Drunkaholic gets a little bit poked out here. The flames coming in. Cobain's getting the damage out there. Doesn't quite get the reach on the basic attack, and Drunkaholic just about lives. Still has beads available to him, but a lot of pressure coming out from the duo lane of just built different here.
Yeah, for sure. Ares just does that to lanes. His damage once he gets that level 3, it's ridiculous, and because of that, they get the invade on purple buff. A small win early for just built different.
Just.
Only just.
Drunkaholic does nearly steal it. Gets a good mez to stop Cobain from really aggressing here. He's looking for it, but those archers, yeah. You can say he can't now. Those archers will turn around and do too much damage with turret Chernobog combo rooting in there. And
Yeah,
the
for
solar
sure.
side, Tears hit level 5 and a lot healthier than our Nomad, who's clearly not been respecting the combo out from the Baron Samedi.
Yeah, for sure. If you look at Nomad's build as well, he's opted for the teleport glyph. I don't know. I don't think that's the good choice personally. Baron has the ability to burn beads in the 1v1 ridiculously easily. Ares, all of course, one of the biggest beats burns in Smite. And Saket, if Saket ever goes on the Cabrakan, there's not much Cabrakan could do. I think he's playing a really risky game here at Al Nomad into a lane that I think he's going to really struggle to win. Tyromatize one of the three best solo laners in the league. this season. He's
Absolutely.
just such a strong laner. Um,
Absolutely. The only thing I can think that the Karakan's thinking right now is that, as Dorsey goes in, uses the ultimate, Drunkaholic gets the beads out. The only thing I can think the Karakan might be thinking is he can block the Baron ult with his own ultimate and avoid himself from getting sucked in. Now, obviously that's possible, but there's a lot of other CC, as you said, on the side of Just Built Different here that has really not been accounted for at all. And did Serket get a cleave in her last basic attack? I forgot that got patched in. As on the duo side, Dorsey blinking in, but not really getting much damage on Cookie Monster, who's sitting quite safely on here on the Chernobog with lifesteal and death toll. A lot of sustain.
yeah, Saket, they added the cleave, I believe, like 2 or 3 patches ago. Really helps her early game out. Once one of the most notorious early game gods for a ridiculous clear with the Deathbane. And it really helps her early game be what it used to be. Saket, really prominent early game. Jingwei ult forced out there. Kabrakan just staying a bit longer here in the dual lane as Dorsey makes her way over to red on the side, just built different. Be
And
interesting to
fake.
see if Darji rotates over now, just backed.
I
Uh,
don't think it's too likely. The Jingwei still has beads, right? So she's still fairly safe. There's actually good use by Cabane there to use the beads and use the ultimate rather than the beads. One obviously much more expendable, much lower cooldown than the other. And Darji probably just looking to sort of get the Transcendence farmed up. Now, I'm looking at Mystic Megatron here, and I'm seeing a Crusher. And I'm not liking this Crusher. I'd have wanted a cooldown rush on the Circuit to get those ults off as much as possible.
Currently, I'm a big fan of Crusher. I personally like whenever I've built it jungle, it feels nice with the buff to the protections. As we see,
Yeah, hold on.
Darji
Yeah, Dodge
ganking
getting
here.
really good Cabracanalt. First blood goes to Euphemism. Lupo getting the kill onto Tyromatized here. Good engaged by Owl Nomad to keep himself alive. Mystic Megatron is around and goes aggressive onto Lupo. A lot of damage here coming out from Mystic Megatron, but he does not have beads and goes down to Owl Nomad. Now we do have the rotation here from Dorsey. Is he going to be able to clean up, or is this going to be an escape for Euphemism? It looks like they're getting out. 2-for-0 trade, including first blood. That's a nice big swing on the solo side, although Al Nomad potentially overstaying here. Dorsey chasing through the wave, gets the flames off, as well as all 3 chains. He could have ulted and got the kill there. He
Yeah,
had it off of cooldown, and he could have expended that and just had it from the damage alone.
yeah, it's a rough misplay there from Dorsey. Mistake earlier in the fight, really unfortunate not to get the kill onto Lupo with the last breath. I believe they were 1 tick away from picking up a kill,
Hmm.
and Lupo now has a 2 level lead over Mystic. That is
Yeah.
not what you want as a Saket into a Darji.
Not at all, and this is making Kumakana's life easier of who he needs to identify as the damage dealer right now. It's Ares, that's who you're focusing on. This circuit is just a ping cushion at the moment of completely zero relevance. Dorsey gets the chain onto the immune Ghost Knight, misses Cookie, and expends his blink as well. Drunkaholic chasing him out, but shouldn't spend too much time here. Falling a bit behind on farm drunk, so needs to get his stacks up, needs to get his XP up. Kumbakana, kind of like Circuit from behind, just dies.
Yeah, for sure. Kumbhakana, a lot of his crowd control, very close range. Him being able to get farmed, it just makes his life so much easier. I think he can really facilitate both roles.
Yeah.
He Kumbhakana, I think, heavily underrated engage, in
Like
my
speaking
opinion.
of engage, I think he should have done right there onto Dorsey, who's now getting a turnaround, and Lupo's in a bit of a dodgy spot here. Good use of the dash to get away towards Cookie Monster. Now getting that speed up as well, and the immunity, but goes into the air, gets Cabane and Baba Yaga. The Baba Yaga comes in from Nopex D. Dorsey gets pulled in, as does Cabane. Good damage on the other side from Freakout. Cabane uses the beats. Nopex D does pick up Lupo in the end. Mystic Megatron zoning out Freakout. Dorsey, though, is overextended, and he's going to fall to Cookie Monster. A 1-for-1 overall from quite an extensive engagement, which could have been avoided. Again, I think Kumbhakana engages on Dorsey there. Just use the ultimate, not take the Ares into the air. He's not got stacked thieves. He's not tanky yet. He would have died to the joint damages that they had there from the mid laner, as in the solo side, Tier picking up the kill onto Owl Nomad. And Tyr just proving why he is up there on the solo lanes. This man's not even going magic defense.
Yeah, the disrespect in the build is huge. I think Al Nomad there really misplaying with his ult. Really could have just fired it earlier.
Hmm.
Potential to just not get pulled in there. Granted, he was already low, but I think it's if he's gonna use his ultimate, at least use it at the right times. Honestly, to make your chances of survival that bit more. I think just a mistimed ultimate, a bit of a rough play. Won't be surprised at this rate if Tyr's up there with high solo kills. He has been doing this all season. It's ridiculous.
Agreed. I think Al Nomad's logic there was just you don't die with your ult, but that stage it was just too late, as we see just built different here, going for the Pyromancer. Seemingly quite uncontested. There doesn't seem to be much vision out here from Euphemism. Nope XT going into the ult just for the extra damage. Is Dorsey going to fall? Not quite, and that's a free Pyromancer for just built different.
Yeah, really good call there. Not even contested. None of the team sort of went, oh, I had an idea it was happening. Didn't even go away to over to Gold Fury. Just immediately going on Pyromancer as soon as it comes up. A really smart play, and I think a play that teams should look to replicate, honestly. I think people honestly don't expect it, and you can just get away with it like that for free. Granted,
Absolutely. And Pyromancer not quite as damaging or as dangerous as the Gold Fury at the moment. There is no reason not to go for it. Gold Fury is a risky play even when the enemy team are doing Pyro, because one person can be enough to take down two of you and the Gold Fury with ease. Um, Pyromancer a lot safer, does a lot less damage, and as we see again, Tyr getting aggressive onto Al Nomad. Mystic Megatron is here. Al Nomad just about gets his level 11, but does fall. Now Lupo's gone in, looking for the damage onto Traumatize, but Tyr, with that tier 1 defense, and is avoiding every single ult from the Dargy. That's a throw from Mr. Lupo, and Tyr gets out with his life, where he really should not have done.
honestly, I think Lupo really should have been a bit more patient with his Daji chains there. Just, you have the time. Just try and get a grasp of what their pathing, their juking's like, instead of just firing them off 3 times. Like, I think it's just a bit of impatient sort of play. Like, I think as Daji, you really have that ability to just wait and be patient.
Yeah, or
Um,
even just sitting in the air and waiting for your cooldowns to come up. She's got 20% CDR right now. There's no reason that she couldn't sit in the air, get a 1 back up or a 3, and then just cancel it early. Tyr was still dodging. He would not have predicted it. And I think that actually that would have almost been a better play as soon as you miss that first chain.
yeah, for sure. People getting level 12 now. Baba Yaga just hitting level 12. So far it's been a pretty even game. It's slightly in the favor of just built different, but I think both teams have really had their times to shine. Tier ult just a bit too far off on Drugaholic. Going on Al Nomad just gets poked out.
Yeah, and this man's got a Genji's guard as well as Kabrakan passive, and is still taking that much damage. Warlock Sash penetration really coming in clutch as Cobain forced into the ult into duo side, where we're really not seeing much action. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more from these two. Cobain with the build that's there for dueling, and on the other side, Cookies on Chernobog, who right now is a really high pressure ADC. Surprised we're just not seeing more aggressiveness between the two of them, as Nopex D forced into the house and forced out. Missing Megatron there to peel, and that's all she wrote in mid lane. Whereas on duo side, that fight is coming in, but Cookie Monster just running back away to the tower. As Al Nomad has to back on solo side as well.
Yeah, honestly, mid lane there, I think the side just built different really sort of um just used up more than they needed to. Oh, Beads forced out a Cabane there.
Yeah,
Unfortunate.
I
Chenabog
don't
beating in.
think that was necessary either. Drunkaholic's only level 8.
Yeah,
I just
he's
feel like even if Chernobog follows up, you're going to have your dash back up again as well. Like, there was time there for the Jingwei to go. I mean, he's played it safe, he's lived. But if you're living, you've done the right thing. But I think cooldowns could have been saved. Whereas now, Cobain a little bit vulnerable. Daji on the side here does get vision and warded on, but Cobain taking a lot of damage. And this time the chains do hit. And Lupo gets the kill onto Cobain, but Dorsey with the double ult gets 2 sets of beads out from Lupo and Drunkaholic. And Dorsey and Nopex D looking to re-engage, but Nopex D goes into the air, falling rather low on the Baba Yaga, popping the beads to dash under tower at 1 HP. Freakouts here as well now, just to out pressure Dorsey. Mystic Megatron's hanging around, but nothing more coming of it, and not really anything that can be forced. I mean, Pyro's down, gold is going to do a lot of damage, and your tanks aren't that tanky. Honestly, well defended by Just Build Different to not let that snowball out a bit further. As I don't know, Matt going for the kill onto Traumatized does get it. Tier just playing up that little bit too much after missing the heal, and does get punished for it.
Yeah, I think that's just a case of overconfidence there by
Yeah,
Tim, really trying to get that kill. Misses his ability and he gets punished for it.
yeah.
Really unfortunate there for Tyr.
Just that
Uh,
little bit of greed, which has cost him there. But nothing major. I mean, he's 1 and 2, but he's still ahead by quite a bit on gold. You can see he's got the 3 items completed, started on his 4th. Our Nomad's still working on his 3rd, so not much coming of it. It was a Mystic Megatron just about stopping the invade here. It goes aggressive onto Lupo, who does have to use the Aegis. Ult coming out from Mystic, and with Megatron's build right now, he's doing a lot of damage.
Crusher at the minute. I just think the scaling they added to that item, it really helps it. I think you don't even particularly have to go at early game, like you still feel the value later into the game. And solo kill. God, this lane it's back and forth. Tyr picking up a solo kill into Al Nomad.
It
Lupo
feels like he should
Lupo.
have more kills than he does. Lupo missing Daji chains again. I think we got a new name for this man in Discord.
For one who misses Daji chains, I mean, oh,
Cookie with the solo kill on Cabane. There's a crit difference if ever there was one. Because right now their sustain is fairly even. Cookie with a little bit more power. Cabane with that Ickfold and nullifying it. That was purely the difference of Cookie had crit where Cabane didn't. He's only just picked up that Wind Demon, and that has made all the difference there.
definitely. Just I think this lane Chernobog is can't really how much. Chernobog is about not that much of a lead to be fair, bit of a level lead, but I think Chernobog at this game point of the game just has that ability to rotate towards the fire giant pyro fights, which will start to happen in like 5 minutes. Um, he just has the ability to really contribute to fights while having that ability to split push as well and pressure out the left side of the map for the later stages of the game. I
And
think
needs to start doing so now, but the problem is going to be tier on the Baron here. Cookie's opted away from any percentage pen, so relying on those crits and Wind Demon to do all of the work there right now. I would have preferred to have seen the Silver Branch bow in this position over the Atalantas. I think the lifesteal's nice, the crit's nice, but the pen is just more important for that 3rd item. You need that in there somewhere. It's JBD pulling Gold Fury here, missing Megatron and a big bit of distraction by engaging onto Freakout with Tyr. He has no beats, he has no Aegis, he's gonna fall. JBD get Gold Fury, Lupo's in there to try and counter engage, goes in the air, Dorsey's ult comes out. But there's going to be no chains from Lupo. CC immunity's there. Now Mystic's hanging on the side. Does pick up Lupo himself. This is currently a 2-0 and a Gold Fury in favour of Just Built Different. Drunkaholic does knock one into the air, but Nathan is very healthy still. Cookie Monster going in aggressively. Cabane ults away. Now Dorsey's falling low. Now Nomad's there with the Tremors, which are doing huge damage, but Tyr with the heal. Cookie falls to Mystic Megatron. Again, he's got 2 kills in this engagement right now. Now Our Nomad out of position. And JBD can just run it down at Euphemism here. That is a huge swing. 4 kills for none on favour of Just Built Different and a Gold Fury. And what is probably going to be a Pyromancer as well, if not Fire Giant itself. That was a huge fight.
Yeah, definitely. Just but different with 4K Golding now looking to up it here with this Pyromancer. Mystic kind of just went massive that fight. His build, his damage, he's doing ridiculous amount. I honestly think Lupo, one of his weaker performances so far this season, I believe, not really connecting with these Daji ults. He'd be wanting to. I just think the early Daji pick is really hindering him. He's not really getting to do anything. Granted, he's 2-2-2. He's been involved in 2/3 of Euphemism's kills, but I just don't really see the impact that he's having compared to other Daji players in the in the league. I think it's just a lack of what's the word? I just think it wasn't really a smart dodge pick, which I think is what you need when you're playing that god.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the side of Just Build Different, every single ultimate they have has CC immunity built into it. And he picked it into a god that already had CC immunity, so he's going to struggle to find an impactful ultimate at all this game. He's found a couple, granted on the duo side, found one on Cobain, but it's just not enough. It's was too early and too easily countered, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Is that Darji is just suffering because of that.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, other side of the team, other members of the team, this Merlin really isn't doing enough with that build. It feels like I'd be interested to see damage, but I think that build on Merlin, he's really not having that much effect. And yeah, 4K damage apart from the supports, lowest player damage in the game.
And
Tier,
only one ahead of Dorsey. And honestly, you'd think if you're going that way with the sort of cooldown, just get the warlocks. You've got 20% cooldown anyway. You don't need more. Play it safer instead of the Muradin. Now I like Muradin, and I get that it's got the pen on it, but so does warlocks. Um, and you're right. You should just be doing more damage with Soul Eater, pen, and this much cooldown. Really unimpactful for a god that should be, but again, it's just this idea of Merlin is kind of free at the moment. That lack of CC immunity in this meta where he can't just immediately one-shot someone with a combo is showing.
yeah, with jungles being as scary as they are, you kind of need to. Dorsey engage here onto Freak Out. His beats burnt. Freak Out just getting picked out here. Al Nomad coming round the back. Can't really get his damage off. Good wall, actually, but he's getting super poked out here. Nathan going deep. Drunkaholic
Does
behind him low. Oh, sorry. Lupo gets a kill. Or Cookie Monster gets a kill in Duo lane, and Tear picks up a kill onto Drunkaholic. Just separate fights all over the map, honestly. I think it's again favoring Just Built Different. ADC down for three members in mid. I think the only issue there is that they can't really go for Fire Giant, which
yeah,
is what they really want to be looking for at this stage of the game, but can strip away the farm
yeah,
on the side of
and
Euphemism.
stealing buffs, taking both mid towers here. And I'm really disappointed that Cookie's just not rotating into more fights. He's got this ultimate. You don't need to like wait for the perfect moment. Clear the wave and be there. If you are there, that can be enough to put people off. Just because you're a hunter, he's going to be doing this much damage. You've got 4 items. You've got 2 crit items. You've got that 20% pen, 30 if you crit. You got a lot of attack speed. He's gonna do a lot of impactful damage right now, especially when Dorsey's just running in under tower. He's gonna shred him. He doesn't have much dedicated in fact, doesn't have any dedicated physical defense. Right now, this Chernobog needs to be doing more than he is because he's just not been impactful with a god with global rotation.
I don't even think, to be fair, Billy, we've seen him rotate once
We
away
haven't.
from
We haven't. He's
which
been in lane the entire game.
which is really disappointing. And honestly, Chernobog has some matchups where sometimes you'll think, yeah, I just want to win this matchup. I want to slam it. I want to solo them. I want to kill them. Chernobog has the ability to do that and into characters what can't escape the route. But into Jingwei, I just don't get what he's going to achieve.
I
Engagement here from Lupo to beats Burn.
Dorsey does get pulled, but nothing comes of it. Lupo almost lagging away there, but Tia just running in, pulling in our Nomad. Nopex D jumping forwards with Baba Yaga, getting the big damage out with the house, and down goes our Nomad for one. Drunkaholic does send one into the air, but now he's going to forward just to get Lupo out, or is he? Yes, he is. Nopex D picking up the kill. Freak out. No relics is going to go down to Mystic Megatron. Nopex D taking that for a triple kill, and Cobain's still on left side.
You honestly cannot let Nathan get Baba Yaga. He is just ridiculous on this pick. He's definitely one of the best Baba Yagas in the
Yep,
league. Him and Taka are unbelievable on this pick.
yep.
6-0 now is Nathan, and Fire Giant started here from Just Built Different. This
Mhm.
is massive. 8K gold league as well.
Yeah,
Just
I think the other part of it
huge.
is there's been so much committed to the front line of Euphemism that of Just Build Different, sorry, that Nathan's kind of be able to free cast because there's no engagement on him. We finally see the ADCs out of duo lane, but Chernobog just does an up down. Cobain takes a fire giant. It only took 24 minutes. I rotated more than this on Ula and Artemis the other day.
I just think a lot of it comes from a sort of lack of comp experience. It just
Mhm.
seems like that's the sort of vibe it's giving me. as an ADC 24 minutes into the game, you need to be rotating. You
Yeah.
need to have this impact. You
Once
farmed
you've
up
got
your level
yeah.
20. Like,
Yeah, once you've got that free item spike on ADC, that's when you need to be rotating because that's your sort of power spike. One and two items, no, keep farming. You're not going to do enough in team fights, but three items, that is your big spike, and that's when you can start to have an impact. That's when you need to be getting around and helping your team, utilizing the strength that you have, especially if you can rotate first. Cookie should have been doing that because he really could have turned the game with the strength that Chernobog has. On that ultimate, he takes less damage. He's doing extra damage as well with his passive. He's just not helped his team, and because of that, Just Build Different have been able to snowball this, where that extra presence might have made a big difference. As we see Drunkaholic here getting engaged on, uses the beads not quite enough to get out of the full ultimate, and Cookie gets poked out as well, goes into the wall, but a bit out of position. Mystic uses the beads in mid, but does fall to wide freak out. Nope XD on the duo side, doing a lot of damage to Drunkaholic. No beads, no ultimate, no life. He goes down. Cookie taking a lot of damage here as well. The dash is down for another 2 seconds or so and is going to fall to Cabane. And that's a huge swing for Just Built Different. I don't really know why they're trying to defend a tier 2 against Fire Giant when they have two people in mid.
yeah, that is really confusing. Again, they're just grouping. This team's grouping. While they might have decent individual players, they just don't seem to play well as a unit. It's something that'll grow for sure, but I think against a top team like Just Built Different, you really cannot be allowing just basic positioning errors. As Tyr picks up Nomad here,
Again,
left
they're
side
just trying to
immediately
defend
down.
something that's already gone. You're already down a man. The Phoenix has been engaged on. They've got the wave. Don't go there. You're just throwing your life away. Defend the Titan at this stage. As now we see Drunkaholic and Freak Out both going down. Kabang picking up a kill. Dorsey last hitting the other one, although Dorsey, up until that fight, almost had the same damage as Cabane, so fair enough. And that's going to be game one going to Just Feel Different. A good early attempt at pushing out from Euphemism. They got that first blood. They had some early kills. Dorsey ult in the air, but yeah, in the end, just not quite enough, and Just Feel Different take the game.
Yeah, really strong showing there from Just Built Different. Really impressed with Nathan and Tyr specifically. I think MVP probably definitely goes to Tyr. Thinking about it, he was just so impactful on Miss Baba, his ability to
Mm,
burn beads. It
well,
it was really, really good. Really
see, I'm going to
impressed.
disagree there. I'm actually going to give it to Nathan. Tears engages were good, don't get me wrong, he was getting some good pickoffs, but without the follow up from Nathan, they come to nothing. I know Tier has more damage, but how much of that came from lane? Nathan farmed amazingly and was just really impactful with what he needed to do, so I think NopeXD takes it from me, but I can understand giving it to Tier. There's a very close one between the two.
Yeah, super impressive show there. Be interesting. Let's have a look at the numbers here. Yeah, 25k damage from Tyr there compared to Alma. Honestly, I think the biggest differences came in solo and mid. I think Tyr and Nathan really just played lights out. Dorsey as well with some of the pulls he were getting. You know,
hmm
I just think as a team fight in unit, Just Built Different, looking so unbelievably strong.
Yeah, and I think mechanically it was because let's face it, they've got the better draft, I think, in the solo lane with the Kabrakan, but at the same time, he didn't, play it well. He's taking the poke. He was letting Tyr just get the heals off. He wasn't really there. He didn't go that early into the anti heal, so he's just letting Tyr snowball. And took what should have been quite a nice matchup into a really terrible situation. On the other hand, in mid lane, they just got completely outdrafted. Merlin just isn't it right now, and Baba Yaga's one of, if not the strongest mages.
For sure. I think it's nice to see a game where Tyr doesn't have to int for player damage, only two deaths. Really smooth there from
Mm,
Tyr. Good job
both
on
of them,
him.
yeah, both of them coming in the lane as well. Only downside to his game, Tyr, where the living hell is your warding? Dreadful, absolutely dreadful. And in fact, in general, this game, like ward numbers looking relatively low for what you'd have expected in what a 25-minute, 26-minute game. Just not quite. Vision very exploitable.
Yeah, definitely. Let's have a look here. Mystic though. huge words from Mystic.
Hmm.
Was sort of hot and cold throughout the games, honestly, or times within the game. Sorry, sort of mid game, I think he really sort of started
Yeah.
to be in control of the
That's where
game.
Circuit takes off, right? Like early, she doesn't have the scaling on the Ultima. She doesn't really do a huge amount of damage. Mid game, you've got a couple of items online. You're doing the percent damage with the passive as well. That's really where she shines. Whereas late game, she just gets like blown up. So I'm not surprised that he did the most in the mid game, and I think he actually played around the mid game very well. But still had his impact in the late game, just baiting the fight in mid, so he could die. Int for win. That's what we'll call it. Int for win.
Everyone loves a good int for win.
Indeed. So that was game one. Game two, I can't see Just Feel Different dropping it. I feel like this is probably going to be a 2-0 set. I I think the cohesion and the team play is just a lot better, and the difference in mid and solo lanes is just too impactful. Um, I mean, I could be wrong. Wouldn't be bad to be wrong. I would like to see a nice 3-game set, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Um, I think before we get into that, though, we will take a short little break, and then we'll get into the next game. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the glorious Smite League matchup between Just Built Different and Euphemism. Just Built Different taking the first game. We're about to get into game number 2 with myself, Ginger Archer, joined by Matt Ketmonster, and Printers doing the spectating for us. There's a little bug with picks and bans in this game, so we are going to be going straight into it. Matt, do you expect anything different from game 1, or do we reckon it's going to be a 2-0 here?
No, honestly, I'm just expecting very strong performance from Just Built Different once again. I think last game they showed they're just such a solid team fighting unit, probably the best looking team fight unit in the league right now over the second split. But yeah, we'll hope. I mean, Euphemism definitely have the potential to turn it in certain areas. Lupo can maybe turn it. Cookie Monster had a pretty decent game. And Al Nomad picking up another solo kill this season onto Traumatized. Firstly on the Ymir, now on the Kabrakan. He's lethal on these Guardians, and it'll be interesting to see if he pilots one this game again.
I mean, Tier's gone for an interesting pick here. Um, in the same vein, in fact, just an interesting comp overall from Just Feel Different. I mean, they've got beads burners for sure, very aggressive overall, but I'm not sure how I feel about this one as a composition. I'll be honest.
Wait, I just realized I boofed. I didn't realize he's on the King Arthur. You hate to see it. Um, sorry, go on, Billy.
No, go on. You explain why that is so amusing.
Sorry, I didn't have the stream open.
You
So I didn't see.
goofball.
I know.
So,
So
Tira picking Chunga into King Arthur here, that's asking to get bullied in the early game, and also going for the Aegis instead of the beads. So, going to be taking the full brunt of the King Arthur ultimate if you ever get hit by it. On the other side, Al Nomad asking to get punished without going beads against the Hoombats and a Chunga. He got a lot of pots for sustain, but I mean, if you look at this right now, you're thinking he's only going to be able to get one defense unless he goes for like an early mantle or something like that. Um, that's not going to be that great for you. I think as long as Tyr can stay healthy up to level 5, Mystic should really be looking over here at gank on King Arthur because he's going to be quite free.
yeah, for sure. And another pick I'm interested in is how Depressed Rhino does on the Yemoja. Only seen a few Yemojis in the league so far. We've seen Gordon pilot it almost perfectly. I think it's Red, Purple, Blue who played it as well and looked pretty good on it.
I think Manga's played it a couple of times as well.
He is the GOAT, so I won't be surprised. On the other side, Kernanos, an infamous JBD pick.
And in
Nathan
the mid,
getting poked
Nathan
out
getting really
here.
low. And Lupo picking up first blood onto Novex D. The Yu Huang fooling. A very Yu Huang young moment into this game. That was a terrible pun, and I'm never going to try that one again. But first blood going down for Euphemism. Now, they did this last game, albeit elsewhere on the map. Are they going to be able to convert this into a little bit more this game, or is this going to be slowed down? I'd like to hope that they can convert it to more, especially looking at this mid being in the this lead being in the sort of mid and jungle area as well. As on the solo side, Tyr has Al Nomad incredibly low on health, which how? What? And always get
Oh,
that
gets
does
me.
get the
Oh!
solo kill. Al Nomad, what are you doing? And on the other side, Cookie Monster picking up Cabane. The gank comes in from Lupo. Dorsey now looking quite low and gets slowed by Lupo. Attack is coming in, but he jumps through the minion wave, just avoiding the damage. We've got a feisty one on our hands, boys. No XD
Yeah,
there, taking a little bit of poke in the mid lane as well. This is a fun set already.
very chaotic. For sure. The early kill onto Nathan is huge, but the return kill for Tyr, and again, Chonga, scary with a lead. King Arthur behind, laughably. Like, it's rough. You will see a King Arthur run at you and from behind, and you will laugh. He is
Yeah,
just so easy to blow up.
laughed at
Uh,
Tier doing that before in a game, in a
ooh,
scrim. Tier was behind and was doing his standard int for damage, and we just blew him up every time. It was great fun.
I can
So I
imagine.
agree, very laughable.
I can imagine. Cabana falling on Miss Kernanos. the pick I associate with JBD is the Kernanos, the infamous Nacho Kernanos. And Cobain has also looked decent on the Kernanos this year, or this season, sorry. And yeah, just falling early. Cookie Monster getting an early lead. I hope he is more effective with the Chernobog rotations, especially now he's sort of got the ball rolling in the early game.
Yeah.
Chernobog's early game definitely not the best
But
compared
not
to
the
Kernanos.
worst either. I think a lot of people underestimate it. The damage it puts onto minions isn't that great, but the damage it can do to gods is actually quite high just because the combo of the 1 and the 2 almost guarantees at least 1, if not 2 pops of the passive if you hit a god. That's like an extra 70 damage in the early game, which is nothing to be scoffed at by any means. It's like an extra basic attack and a half, which Dorsey is feeling right now, falling low on health and still running in here. Depressed Rhino out of Omi and really not healing Cookie that much, so he's able to do so. The Bacchus with anti-heal as well, a really, really nice counter pick almost to the Emoja. I quite like it on that front.
Yeah, Yamoja's gonna have a hard time keeping the team sustained up. Chonga anti-heal coming through as well.
Mm.
Honestly, the thing I like about Just Built Difference comp is that they have so many abilities what can just easily apply this anti-heal. Chonga is very good for it with a free. The Finno, are
Solo
we
slide.
getting
Oh,
another
Nomad
one?
falling low.
Needs to hit the
It's going to need
autos.
all the minion block, but Tira Traumatized does pick up the other solo, uses the Aegis to avoid the tower shot, and is going to live here. That's a 2-0 Chunga in the solo lane, and that's going to be running it down. The King Arthur, although Lupo is looking for a rotation in here, gets the ult off onto Tyr, gets aggressive, uses the beads aggressively, but Tyr uses that immunity, and Lupo, out of mana, out of position, does pick up the trade, and now Al Nomad is back, so Megatron can't really fight this much for more. The Humbat's not doing a huge amount of damage at this stage, and he's out of position. Al Nomad getting some big damage onto Megatron, but missing the one. Gets the second one off. Lupo's just hanging around, ready to sweep up. Should Megatron dash out, which is exactly what he's done. Avoids the 2 from Hoombats, and that's a 2-for-1 in favor of Euphemism.
Yeah, I think Euphemism, if anything, they've really shown that early game they can really bring it to the top
Mm-hmm.
teams. They did it against
Absolutely.
Benadryl, and they've done it
Sorry, did you
against
say top teams?
GT. Oh, anyways, they are second place if they win this game, or if they're just built different win this game. So we'll class them as a top team. But yeah, Euphemism has have been looking strong early. I think they could really be a promising team if they just iron out these late game fights, and hopefully they're able to do it this game.
Yeah, Cobain here, whiffing autos. He's looking like an ADC on NA ping, while Nacho looks like an ADC on EU ping. I wonder which one we'd rather have for the aggression there. Cobain really whiffing on the basic attacks. Chernobog not having a movement speed steroid, so really not much excuse. But either way, it still forces the back and gets the extra wave, which then pushes under tower on the side of Cobain as in solo. So I don't know, Mad is feeling so much punishment here.
I think Tyr, this Chonga pick, he's really feeling himself here, man.
Mm.
Pick we
Liking
don't
these
really.
poke mages. I don't know, Mad just not seeming to be able to handle them very well. I was missing Megatron jumping into the backline. We see the ult coming out from Depressed Rhino. Megatron's left alone here, jumps out of the waters, but Lupo's chasing as well as I freak out, and that's a killing spree for Lupo. It's 5 kills in favor of Euphemism. Really nice knockback there by Depressed Rhino. Forces the jump out of Dorsey. Nothing more coming of it. And nothing else really up. Should just be looking to sort of strip away whatever jungle neutral camps they can. Cookie potentially could have invaded the small camp there before Cobain got there. Or could have even baited him in if the team went there. But they go for the mid camps. They get the neutrals. That's a nice little swing again for Euphemism. Just picking up these kills.
Yeah, they've.
Uh,
Our, our
uh.
cameraman is back. This is great news.
As we return then, Tyromatize and Mystic making a good effort onto the solo lane. Tyromatize picking up our Nomad. Mystic picks up Lupo. And Tyr is huge. Mystic's back into this. We got a
Yeah,
game on our hands.
for sure. Mystic getting that shutdown onto Lupo, kind of huge. Humbat's again another one where it's not the best to be behind. Nemesis very scary from ahead and just getting that return kill. Now even in levels once again, and net worth, Mystic getting back up there on.
Yeah. Still 500 gold down, but not unassailable. You almost, to some extent, you expect it as a Humbats, right? Your early clear isn't brilliant regardless. Your early pressure isn't brilliant, so it's not unsurprising now. Lupo here is going into crit. Should be some easy spectral armors out on the side of just built different.
I would very much hope so. Cookie Monster probably gonna opt for the crit on the Chernobog as well. Chernobog feels like one of them gods where you can definitely go both the auto attack build or the sort of Kin's oboe focused
Ooh,
one.
Freako ulting a little bit early there. Could have waited for Nopex D to land and would have potentially had the kill as well. Nopex D forgoing the extra health. Dorsey here again isolated in the backline. Nopex D using the beads, but the push into the tower. Lupo's there gets displaced a little bit, and Dorsey managing to get out. Lupo diving way too hard and actually falls to Nopex D. Our Nomad's here with freak out, but Nomad just takes all of his health, and Lupo really aggressive there. Cobain with the rotation onto Nomad and gets the kill. Nomad falls just a little bit out of position there. And in the end, 2-kill swing in favor of Just Built Different when, yeah, Euphemism had the momentum there. It was a nice idea of the engage, a good ult to sort of separate them from Depressed Rhino. Nopex T just kind of glitching through and almost getting the save because of it. And then, yeah, Lupo just dashed into the route. Way too aggressive. Take the win, take an objective. Pyro's coming up in very, very short amount of time. Just use the pressure that you can.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they try and opt for this early pyro kill. Comp wise, probably again on a similar level with her ability to burn it. Don't have a Baba Yaga ult, but just built different. Really like this. Is Mystic ults onto Lupo here. Doesn't get the kill though. Tear coming in.
Yeah,
Nemesis
chasing, but
able to dash
yeah.
away.
Our
I'll
Nomad
Nomad
though in a
there.
little bit of a risk here, but Dorsey choosing not to go in, not to chase, and we can see Nopex D coming over, and we know what that means. Pyromancer time, surely, or are they just going to strip the Scorpion here? Maybe I think they could have gone Pyro there. Depressed Rhino's around, but Yamoja ult really long cooldown, not going to go anywhere. Freak out already somewhat low. They really could have pressured Pyromancer there and got that. I feel like that's a misplay not going for that from Just Built Different. Did it last game, no reason not to on this one. Instead, looking at the red buff invade and looking at it very aggressively. Nopex T getting poked out a little bit, having to dash away. Lupo's back here, he's going aggressive. Dashing into doors, he gets the ult onto Mystic Megatron. Don't know if that was who he meant to target. Nopex D gets the ult out. Freak out picks up the kill onto Nopex D. Dorsey gets knocked out of position, but too tanky for any further follow-up, and now instead Euphemism are going to invade the red buff. Tier, though, over here to invade blue buff, and does succeed in doing so. Has that 2-level lead and just much greater secure with the Chang'e. And really just putting out a huge amount of pressure over here. Isn't going to care too much about the King Arthur's damage. And really even this one, Euphemism just taking it to Just Built Different, not being scared of engagements here, even when they've lost the previous set or previous game.
Yeah, and I think that shows a strong mental. Like honestly, as I was saying earlier, Euphemism have all these sort of key promising components to be a great team in the low division of this league. But it's just sort of wrapping them all up, sort of ironing them out, getting that late game team fight locked down. And again, I think they're in a pretty decent spot. Only 2K behind. It's not the end of the world. With a team what does pretty well late game as well. Tier Waxing Moonlight, uh, Waxing Moon, Waxing Moon,
Yeah,
onto our Nomad there. Um, just
not
sort
quite
of.
doing enough. Lupo looking to re-engage, actually. Really looking at this Humbats, just recognizing the Tier has a tankiness, but Tier manages to get through the wave from Emoja. Could have chased, but Al Nomad's presence is just enough to prevent that going on.
Yeah,
And in the meantime, the Trebuchet's just pushed into mid for free.
River's Rebuke just falling a bit short there. This Trebuchet really doing the most to the
Dorsey,
tower.
don't do it. Dorsey, don't do him dirty. Dorsey, he doesn't secure it. Lupo
Oh,
does get it, but Dorsey almost getting the kill, actually. Lupo getting incredibly low. Dorsey on his own here. Does he have his dash? I don't know if he does. He just gets it up, and he's going to get out scot-free. Would have liked someone to have pincer maneuvered there. Could have definitely picked up the support from Just Built Different there, Euphemism, but instead Just letting him get out with the attempted invade
Yeah.
fairly freely.
Bacchus a very hard support to kill. I'll give to have the mitigations he can get from
Hmm.
the drink and having the drunken meter charged. It's really good for Bacchus, and late
Yeah.
game he is
Although
definitely so hard to deal with.
right now should not have leveled that tier, just securing this again. He's got a
Yeah,
4 level lead on Nomad. But at what point do you consider this bullying?
I mean this is what he does.
Although he's
It,
getting rotated on, the Aegis comes out, the heal is there. I don't think he has his immunity. No ult, Freak Out picking up tier, and on the other side, Lupo gets the kill onto Cabane.
that
Euphemism just really good on these rotations to punish the overextension from Just Built Different. Although they are looking for a counter engage here over on the solo side. Megatron teleported a little bit early, not respecting the Nemesis dash or the shield, but the ultimate comes out, Fear No Evil, knocking Lupo into the wall, and the Nemesis does fall. And that could be a Gold Fury for Just Built Different. Cookie doesn't have ult, and they're not seeming to go on it. Instead, recognizing that Euphemism are over here on the Pyromance. In fact, not even recognizing that. Euphemism just making a nice call here.
Yeah, I think the ability for Just Built Different to do the Pyromancer really is sort of diminished.
Yeah, I think they've got the Hoombats there, right? He's 2 items deep. One of them's a Transcendence. He's going to hit hard enough on the Gold Fury. No XD as well. Um, I really feel like they could have taken more from that. Instead, Euphemism just able to keep pushing his leads, keep taking the farms, keep taking the objectives. Cookie here is doing a great job of keeping up with Cabane. Press Rhino a little bit down on Dorsey. The main difference is in the solo lane and the mid lane, but that's also being cancelled out by one another. And overall, this is just a really, really even game. Just feel different are rotating here though, and I think probably going to be looking for the Gold Fury tier getting a little bit aggressive over onto Cookie. He's forced out half health. Press Rhino almost alone, using the waters to get out. They're trying to secure the red buff here, Euphemism, but Dorsey with aggression. And Just Feel Different really need to pull Gold Fury here. They've got the pressure. They've still got 3 ultimates, which are really impactful ultimates. Euphemism do have all 5 of theirs, but one of them's the Chernobog ultimate, the rotation, not going to do as much, and Gold Fury falling to half health here. Is leashed by Just Build Different. Our Nomad keeps it up, and actually Cookie's staying on it. Lupo engages here, looks at the backline, onto Cabane, but falls missing Megatron with a really big Kumbat assault on the backline, forces a couple of pairs of beads, and is still chasing onto Freakout. Freakout's going to be able to turn it around though, and actually gets the kill onto Mystic with the help of Lupo. Nope XD training onto our Nomad. Dorsey knocking Lupo into the air, getting the anti-heal off. Just about gets the stun off. Freakout does fall. Lupo getting very low here and does fall as well. Nope XD with the double kill. Bane falls. Tyr looks like he might fall. Cookie Monster here, but missing so many basics and is gonna fall himself without taking out Tyr. He's whiffed really hard, and Tyr has the Waxing Moon back up again to stun, to press Rhino. That's a 5-kill Team Deicide for Just Built Different after engaging on Gold Fury. Wow, they have played that fantastically to turn around. Mystic Megatron's ult there was absolutely huge to disrupt the backline follow-up after a really good Ultimate River's Rebuke from the Emoja. And that was massive plays. Really well played from Just Built Different, but the MVP of that fight, absolutely Mystic Megatron. That ult was insane.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just a bit unfortunate that Cabane went down as early as he did. Really could have gone for that Fire Giant or Gold Fury, and they just sort of got nothing off it. Which, well,
Yeah,
granted, it was a big fight, but they really could have got more.
they could. As on the other side, though, if Cookie hadn't whiffed the basic attacks onto Tier, could have picked him up, and actually then, Euphemism potentially could have got something. You've got Emoja's healing, people respawning. They potentially could have looked for something themselves, but in the end, neither team getting Gold Fury, nothing going down. Euphemism are looking for the oracles just to get that vision control, but nothing of much happening. Very even game, both on kills and gold and experience. Aside from the solo lane, there's a 4 level difference still. Nomad just isn't farming. And even now, look, he's rotating. You're level 12 in 17 minutes, Nomad. There's a wave crushing into your tower. Go there, get some experience, because my guy, you are irrelevant right now. Your presence means nothing. Mid tier getting engaged on, uses the immunity to avoid all of Freakout's ult damage. and is able to live. Mystic Megatron there for the turnaround. Freak Out dies. Lupo's very low. Missing Megatron chasing. Hits the minion with a basic attack. Nopex D misses the root on the side of the Yuhuang. And now Megatron's in trouble. Al Nomad chasing him down. Tears there for the counter damage. As is Dorsey for the drunkenness. But Al Nomad does pick up Mystic Megatron. Now chasing Traumatize, but he's doing so alone. Tyr uses the Aegis. Gets the heal off. Cookie Monster is here. We've seen an ult from him at last over the 2 games. Damage onto Dorsey is kind of irrelevant. And in the end, we have yet another 1-for-1. And nothing else.
Yeah, I just think honestly, it's so hard to tell honestly because this could go either way, and I think both teams, they're in the team fights at the minute. Granted, apart from that deicide fight earlier, they're sort of just being a bit even. I think one thing I could say is that compared to the Baba Yaga game, I don't think Nathan is being as impactful. Damage numbers where they were very slanted one way last game sort of even out this game. I think
Yeah.
it all comes down to Freak Out playing a bit of a better pick for this meta, and Nathan being on a god that he's less comfortable on. And
Yeah,
Nomad
big
being
engage over here. Cabane gets the ult off though. Nomad falls. Lupo just about gets the shield off, but good root from Nathan actually saving his ADC. Cabane getting some good damage onto Cookie, and they're still chasing here with Dorsey. Big screen shake coming through, but Dorsey falling low. Depressed Rhino is here, and now Just Feel Different need to get out themselves. Cookie continuing to whiff basic attacks means no flex D is safe. Mystic Megatron's here. That's how he wants to jump into that backline with the ultimate, but not going to do so. Going back to the mid laners though, I think a lot of the problem here for Nopex D is actually the build. If you're looking at it, he's got no percentage pen, very little flat pen. The flat pen that he does have is an anti-heal against a Nemesis shield, Morgan Le Fay ult, Yemoja healing, and a Chernobog with essentially triple lifesteal this stage. Why have you gone for a Spear of Deso? It's almost like he's stuck into this build that he uses on Baba minus the Warlocks, and it's just not very efficient for this game. Not actually thinking about what he needs to itemize into for the team he's playing against. Now, granted, he's not the only one. They're relying very much on this built-in anti-heal on the Bacchus and the Chang'e, but no one else picking up any in their items, which I think is some really poor itemization from Just Build Different.
I personally also don't understand the dual mode pick here from Nathan. Granted, I get that he wants some ability to sort of prevent Nemesis from sticking to him, but I think trust your support. Yu Huang can escape with the free, and if Nemesis follows with the dash, just let Bacchus do the work for you. Let him peel the Nemesis off.
Absolutely. Here, Depressed Rhino getting about out of position, actually not using the Omi to escape. Cabane getting a lot of damage off. It's not going to go anywhere, but Tyr is over here. Are we going to see yet another fight for the Gold Fury in this game? Potentially Lupo really getting around into the backline here. Looking at Nopex D, he's on his own though. Ults onto an Nopex D, but Nopex D goes into the air. Lupo falls. That's a hard throw play. There was no need for him to be there right there. Just massively overestimating his strength into a level 18 Yu Huang. Speaking of the same, that Al Nomad level 14 here and trying to take on the entirety of Just Build Different by himself. Gets pulled in, big ult from Dorsey for a lot of damage. The River's Rebuke not doing much from Yemoja, and Euphemism falling really low as a team here. Just Build Different still there. Freak Out looking for a poke along the wall. Does just about get it. But there's not going to be much follow-up, and we can see the rest of Just Built Different here, pathing towards that Gold Fury. Euphemism identifying this, they're going to look for the Pyromancer in response.
A losing fight going for that Pyromancer, and our caster has returned so we can see what's happening. Viewer, there we go. Looks like a reset after the Gold Fury and Pyromancers go down. Euphemism actually looking at right. Oh no, they've all backed off.
Yeah. Now, I'm really worried here. It's been 5 minutes since I last mentioned this. Al Nomad has gained 2 levels. Cabane going aggressive on to Cookie here. Has to dash away from Lupo's there in the way. Cookie. uses the Aegis. Cabane is going for it. Cabane's healing up for free off of Lupo. Is he going to get the 2 kills? No, he's not. The Press Rhino just coming in, but Cabane doing a huge amount of damage in the 1v2 right there.
Mm,
That is
super,
disgusting.
super impressive there by Cabane to try and almost turn that. Honestly, it's such a close fight. I'm pretty sure he still had his ultimate up. Oh, engagement.
I know,
Oh,
Matt. You're level 15. You're irrelevant at this stage to a mage.
managed to pick up Mystic though. That's kind of massive. All ultimates down as well on the side of just built different.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
Dorsey there sealing the tower and looking aggressive on Freak. Actually forces the beads. I don't think that's necessary. Chunga not doing huge amount of burst damage right now, and no one else there really to follow up. Freakout's just left himself vulnerable for what I'd see is no real reason there.
yeah, I was just bit of a confusing play. Again, we're 23 minutes into the game, and we're not really getting any glimpses at Fire Giant secure happening. Like honestly, I think fights are sort of going as one way as I just built different would have planned compared to last game. Euphemism really taking it to him, and a really good display. I think with the comp they've drafted, their team fights are looking a bit better than last game. I think honestly a lot of it comes down is just Al Nomad's lane performance. He's not
Losing blue
really able
buff
to think.
again.
Yeah.
He's just not showing up today. Honestly, Tyr should be level 20 by now. We're 25 minutes in, Tyr. You've been bullying this hard, and you're still not level 20 yourself. Also, should be there and actually falling now to I freak out. Um, Euphemism making the right plays here, playing around the Fire Giant. That is the only objective that is up right now. No Gold Fury, no Pyromancer. Just feel different, really just not recognizing that that's the call at this stage.
Yeah, I think a few times now. Fire Giant started up here. I think the thing with Just Built Different, they are so talented as a team, but sometimes like that, they can be their own worst enemy, honestly.
Yeah, Cookie goes in, and no Peg Steve with no dash here. Really good ult to actually force him away. Lupo is chasing, but he gets rooted, missing Medicatron with the ult just for the peel, and actually picks up the kill onto Lupo. And that completely kills Euphemism's momentum here. Yeah, in fact, they're running away. Now, I think Euphemism, if they were going to make that Fire Giant call, needed to do so earlier, like right after they'd killed Tyr. They waited a good 30 seconds before they started it there, which allowed Just Feel Different the time to react and rotate over. They really just should have gone for it earlier and potentially could have had and secured it. Um, Other thing I'd like to note out, Lupo was 3-0 at one point in this game. This man's feeding.
He's definitely having a rough time of it. Really not being as effective, you know, as he was throughout the early game. I
Yeah,
think he's
it's
really underperforming to some of the standards that the his peers in the league have set to him. I think
mhm.
everyone sort of saw him as a very the potential to hard carry that team, but I'm actually really impressed with how Cookie has performed through the set, and Freak Out this game has also looked pretty good. And Depressed Rhino, few good moments on the Umoja, but on a god that sort of high skill ceiling, you really need to be a specialist to be consistent having these big team fight ults. And he's
Yeah,
had
I think
some, but
yeah, has had more impact than Drunkaholic in the last game now, as we see Euphemism here looking for the steal onto the Fire Giant, just built different, get it, and that's going to be the falling of Lupo. Oh no, Nomad going very low, Freak Out really going forward here to get a return kill, but the Aegis comes out on Cabane. Now Freak Out's out of position, the Aegis comes out, but he's got 4 people collapsing on him, he falls, Oh Nomad's come back, missing Megatron's out, and he picks up our Nomad, has the triple kill, Cookie Monster does just about get Tyr, but is going all over the place. Goes into the air. His only place to go is straight back down. Are they going to give it? They are not going to give Mystic the pentakill, and they could have done. Cookie Monster here in the 1v3, but fairly hopeless. Dorsey comes there. There's the knock-up. Cabane gets 2. Cabane's stolen the pentakill from Mystic Megatron. He should be alt F4ing right about now. And just build different, doing the right thing, running it down this lane to take out these towers.
I can just imagine the amount of size that Mystic has given off towards Cabane there. He definitely had the pentakill potential there. Would be the
Absolutely.
This would be the second jungler so far this season to get a pentakill.
Yeah,
Would have been lovely.
best jungler right now. Only want to get a pentakill. Good old BMJ.
Mm. He is pretty good at Smite game.
He is rather good at smite game, unless he has COVID, apparently. But we can forgive him for that one. Lupo, no, don't go to don't be silly. Even if it is just a Varkas. It's just a waste of time. They need to be grouping here right now. Euphemism need to be looking at defending these Phoenixes. At this stage, tier 2 towers, let them go. You're against a level 20 team with Fire Giant. Tier 2s are irrelevant to them. However, Phoenixes not so. Although, Dorsey here has the Emperor's armor. We're not seeing one on the counter side from Depressed Rhino, so Siege on the side of Just Built Different going to be very, very strong.
Yeah, I feel like Emperor's Armor is one of them items where you need to pick it up almost every game with the tower buffs. Towers are just it's so hard to dive them now. With the penetration buffs, the base damage buffs that have gone through since 8.5, I believe it was. So yeah, I think it's just a bit of a misplay with the build.
Yeah, I
Um,
like this going for Pyromancer. Just strip it away from the map, just get that little bit of gold back. But we're looking at almost 9,000, 10,000 gold difference here in favor of Just Built Difference. I'm not feeling like Euphemism are going to have much defense for this game now. This is just all in JBD's hands to throw. They're in such a strong position to just win. And the gold at this stage still making a difference. Not much of it on the support as Lupo goes in onto Cobain, out of position. Freak Out picks him up. Cobain there just get isolated by the River's Rebuke. Our Nomad is running into the backline and somehow still hasn't died. Megatron with a really nice zoning out. Our Nomad is alive still. There he goes. Dorsey picking up the kill. Now Freak Out still has the ult available and is using so. Cookie very low in the backline. Uses good Aegis to actually live. Mystic Megatron still chasing, but Cookie is going to survive. Mystic Megatron goes down to Freak Out. Tier is low. They really need to be focusing this Morgan. This Morgan is doing so much work right now for Euphemism. And just a real throne fight there from Just Built Different.
yeah,
Really hard.
top damage in the game, and Modern Lafay is having such a better game compared to last game. I honestly think it's pick diff. I think Merlin is just a very middling god at the minute, where Morgan Le Fay, she has this long range poke where she can burst the back or poke the backline out. Meanwhile, such good self peel where junglers have quite a hard time dealing with her.
Yeah. Unlike Nopex D's Morgan Le Fay the other day, which granted was good, but missing an entire ultimate, going from Morgan Le Fay into a Morgus Le Sus. Bringing back the old memes.
That fell flat.
Terribly.
That was rough. Don't write that one down.
I didn't write it down, it's in my head. I kind of scuffed the delivery. But it's fine. We don't talk about it. Interesting build here from Lupo. I'm not a fan of this. He's kind of trying to hybridize two builds and got like not really getting the best out of either of them. Yeah, not a fan. I don't think the Hydras fits into that build. I think just needing to get more crit online earlier when there's no Spectrals on the side of Just Build Different. Not suffering massively, but still. And as is being pointed out in the chat, we're 31.5 minutes in. Look at our Nomad's level. He's below his support.
Oh, yikes. That's bad. That's rough.
It's very rough, and I think that's making a huge difference. As Cobain here getting engaged on, he's finding himself out of position quite a lot in this one, able to heal up just because of the Cerninos passive with the RC and the blood. Death's upgraded Death's Embrace, and there actually is 2 kill swings in the favor of Just Build Different before Fire Giant's even been taken. Surely they just go for this now, right? Even Yamoja with no ult. This is. Ooh.
Yeah, this could be massive here.
EFG as
Shredding it
well.
as well.
Yeah, Freakout's here for the contest. Megatron's there on zoning duty. Has the ultimate available, so can definitely do so. Freakout without the beads for zone. Just Built Different. Get an enhanced Fire Giant. And let's see if they throw this one away. Or not.
I would really hope they don't. They've got that trebuchet pushing down mid so they can get that final remaining tower. I'd like to point out as well, Euphemism, only one tower. destroyed, and somehow it's on the lane of the King Arthur, which is definitely intriguing. It's at a 3-2 split push.
It
Don't
is, and
really
they're using the trebuchet mid here while keeping the support and ADC on the other side is honestly not a bad call. Because those two alone will be able to take Phoenix with an EFG. The support is going to hit it for 100. Like, people, I don't think realize quite how much all the time EFG can do. I don't know, man, dashing in at level 19 in 33 minutes and just getting blown up. I don't know what he's thinking there. There's no one's going to be able to follow up. This man's got 11 deaths.
yeah, that
Big
wasn't the
yikes.
play.
And
Just a
Lupo
bit of
looping around
impatience.
here on no health, missing Megatron. I think has spotted this out. The ult comes out from Lupo. Down goes to press Rhino. Down goes Lupo. Cookie's in the wall. Freakout's there, but not for long with Cookie's health. Not quite getting picked up. No XD missing the ult, just like his Morgan. But I think that is probably going to be the game and the set in favour of Just Built Different. A Cookie does pick up Cabane. That's a lot of damage out away from the Titan. Is it going to make a difference? Stronger healing. Cookie Monster is ulting in. Are they going to be able to field a defense here? Yes, they are. Titan getting leashed by Just Built Different. Respawns coming in very shortly for Euphemism. Dorsey goes in. They're looking to re-engage on this, but if they reset it, they're just giving the Titan more health. Oh dear. Well, I mean, well defended by Euphemism, well defended by Cookies. Nice to see he's finally putting this Hunter to use, really. Um, Player damage is relatively high. Honestly, could have seen it a bit higher by this stage of the game on an ADC, but good defense. Really good defense from Euphemism. Have we timed out Matt?
My mic was muted. Sorry, my bad.
You plonker.
I accidentally cut the mute button. Anyways, yeah, the Oni Fury going down here, that is huge. For the fire minions pushing down the mid lane. Um, would have been nice to see. What? Pardon me. Um, would have been nice to see whether they could have stripped any more of the Phoenixes back on the retreat. That mid Phoenix probably the worst one to that and the solo side one, probably the two worst ones to have.
Yeah, I think mid is the worst just because it allows the easiest rotation. At least if you
Nice.
take solo, you can then go over to the duo side and there's a huge split in where your minion pressure is.
Yeah, for sure. JBD picking up the Pyromancer here. Just push him at gold lead. Um, could wonder if any free K-pots are online actually. I haven't really spotted any being bought. We're probably gonna get to that stage soon. All relics upgraded on the side of JBD. So I'm definitely gonna look towards it. Looks like they're going for this solo side Phoenix Siege here. They have a good siege, honestly.
Yeah, and three people even out of position in the mid lane. I would like them to have sieged this honestly earlier than they have done. To press Rhino actually using the ult, but puts himself out of position, taking a lot of damage there. Uses the Ankh as well with no follow up. That's going to be completely meaningless and just allows JBD to heal up again. Oh, Nomad is running in, but he's still level 19. Lupo goes in, but there comes the ult from Mystic Megatron. Nopex D picks up our Nomad. Dorsey jumping into the backline, getting a really big ultimate off for the damage, where Lupo's falls to traumatized. Currently 2 kills in favor of JBD. They're happy to just sit here and heal up now. And who can blame them? The Fire Giant is coming up again. The Titan's being pressured by minions. Taking it slow, getting these picks, and our Nomad and Lupo really, really hindering Euphemism here. They're just inting. At this stage, they are just inting. They are not doing anything constructive for their team.
Yeah, Lupo nowhere. Yeah, I mean he's still not full build. It's finally bought that Deathbringer, hasn't upgraded it. Yeah, it's rough. Being a solo laner and getting to level 20, 36 minutes into the game is just not what you want. And when we again, I think the main focus this set is of how good of a team fighting unit Euphemism could be. I think that's been the sort of main story and the main focus of the set. I think the real sort of turning point would be that. And I think when you're your solo laner. Like I think there's no way to put it other than he needs to be 20 for this team fighting stage,
Hmm.
and him taking this long, it's been such a hindrance. I think
Yeah,
Lupo, granted he had a decent early game, but his team fighting has been very subpar to what you need it to be into this caliber of a team.
absolutely. And Euphemism really late here to the party. Depressed Rhino just goes down to Cobain, gets absolutely shredded. That River's Rebuke really just isolating himself. Cookie does ult in late, but the ult comes in. Our Nomad falls. Lupo's there in the backline, immediately gets ulted by Mystic Megatron, does pick up Cobain, but goes down himself. Cookie Monster is here, fielding a defense on his own. Does get some crits onto Mystic Megatron and some good damage onto Nopex D as well, who gets some good damage in return. Nopex D having to dash away, but that stops Cookie's defense. And that means that the Phoenix does indeed go down for JBD. Euphemism losing their right hand side. JBD now rotating to mid. They've got a wave pushed up. They've got minions pushing in. They can clear this one. They've got that sustain from Traumatized. They really could be looking here as long as they don't get too poked out by Freakout, who is doing an insane amount of damage right now. 50,000 on the Morgan Le Fay in this one.
Yeah, I think that's some of the highest mid numbers we've seen all season,
Yeah,
honestly.
Traumatize
Super
really good
impressive.
ult onto Cookie Monster. He's in the wall, but he's going to fall as soon as he comes out. There goes Nopex D with the kill. The trailing dragon picks him up. Mid Phoenix goes down. That's 2 down. There's 1 alive for Euphemism for 7 seconds. There are none alive for Euphemism for 2 seconds. Ult comes in. Titan falling lower and lower and lower. Surely they end it this time. There's no way Depressed Rhino picks up enough of a defense here unless Nopex D farms damage. Our Nomad's there. Goodbye, Titan. Goodbye, Set. JBD take it 2-0 and they take the lead in the Jicklarius Smite League lower division second split.
Yeah, just I think just repeated sort of strong team fights from just built different. Couldn't really get a clear winner, which fair play to Euphemism. They had a few individual sort of standout players. I freak out um in the
Freakout
mid
did
lane.
huge in the second game. Again, I think Cookie just needs to be more aggressive on the Chernobog, get rotating more. He's got this global presence and in both games didn't utilize it hugely. And coming out from your hunter, that's what you want. You want that pressure coming in from this chunking ADC. Didn't really have it, and I think that's a lot of the difference maker and just feel different there. Showing that their team fighting was just superior, taking a really good set.
Yeah, but incredibly impressive performance. I think the MVP of the set over both games, I would honestly, I'm gonna have to give it to Nathan. I think Nathan absolutely went book wild this week. I think early game we were commenting on how he didn't really feel that comfortable, but late game he turned it around, 48k damage. Granted,
Hmm.
it's not matching freakouts, but Nathan with that game one performance, I mean, just a stellar set from Nathan and really
Yeah.
showing he's not just a Baba Yaga one trick.
Hmm. Game 2 as well, I'd actually like to shout out Mystic. Didn't do the most damage, but some of the ults he put in to peel as well as to engage were just really, really smart. I thought he played that Hoombats very well with the disruption. And I think definitely deserves to be up there in terms of recognition for that second game.
Yeah, definitely. I think Tyr, such a strong early game on the Chonga. Few good ultimates throughout the late game, and I wouldn't say as dominant. Granted, the enemy solo laner he was against did hit 20 at 36 minutes, but I think some of the Baron plays were a bit more impactful, but I think that's just the nature of the god, honestly.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm just super impressed by Just Built Different, and they're looking like well, they are the number one team, but they're looking like they could keep this number one position going for the rest of the split. Honestly, super impressive. Just such a good core unit of players who all get on, all good
Hmm.
friends, all just like sort of just communicate with each other well, and they're just I don't know. There's barely any teams what sort of match their team fighting efficiency.
Yep. And with that, that's going to conclude the first set of the day. But in about an hour's time, we'll be back with two relatively, arguably underperformers so far in Kinkai's versus Spaced Out, both having lost a set. We'll see who comes out in top with that in that grudge match. We will do so in an hour. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. We shall see you then.